My name is John Snow. I'm with the Epicor Business Consulting Services team. Epicor is a thought leader not only within software and technology, but also within services. And some of our senior business consulting services resources, like Andy Ray, has created a Creating High Performance workshop. And what that workshop does is it educates mid-management and mentors them on understanding how business processes and process rigor correlate to shareholder value. And if you think about your business processes and how you may source and how you may fulfill and how your sales are driven and what that means from a financial performance, a value differentiation, and a sales growth perspective, you need to be able to resonate that to your field level personnel so they understand how their job matters and what they're being measured on, and then better yet, how that correlates to the shareholder value. So if you look at the elements of our high performance offering, and you look at the financial performance, for instance, think about your cash flow, cash conversion cycle, as well as your profitability and how well you're leveraging your assets and your asset efficiency. From a value differentiation perspective, your logistics value and your account management value. What is your decisive competitive edge to your marketplace? And then from a sales growth perspective, are you measuring your revenue growth, your customer retention, as well as customer attrition, and your customer creation, as well as your pricing methodologies? And all of these lay the foundation for high-performance deliverables. Focusing first on cash conversion cycle, your days inventory outstanding is 365 divided by inventory turnover. And your days sales outstanding is the average time it takes you to collect money from a company. And then your days payable outstanding is the average time it takes you to pay your vendors or suppliers. Each one of those elements should correlate down to the field level personnel, meaning that your inventory turns should be measured per buyer or per inventory control representative. Your DSO should be measured at each collector's level, and your DPO for each accounts payables representative. That's why it's important they understand what the cash conversion cycle is and how their job is attributing to the company cash conversion cycle. So every dollar you put into the business, currently, in this example, it's taking you 83 days to get the dollar out of the business. Now let's looking at a testimonial. For a $50 million company, improving that cash conversion cycle by 1 day is $547,000 annually. And that's remarkable. So by focusing on those metrics, by educating how their job can correlate and be measured through those KPIs, can have some real bottom line results for your organization. Thinking about your logistics value differentiation, if your value differentiation in your market is by pricing alone, you will lose. Your logistics value differentiation needs to come through perfection. It needs to come through Six Sigma oriented results of perfect orders, how you handle back orders. If you're doing any type of custom kitting or integrated supply or value-added programs, those are value differentiators that you should be focused on. If you said, well, we have perfect orders, well, think about how that could be measured. If you're 95% on time and you have a 90% fill rate and you're 96% error-free, then you're really only 82% effective. Think about your customer retention. What's your back order or fill rates? How many items are you attempting to stock? What's your retention rate? How are you revitalizing old relationships of inactive customers? And that growth and that additional sales can be driven through that customer retention program. Think about your pricing methodology and those goals around your pricing. Do you have the ability to let your counter and customer service representatives to negotiate their own price without parameters? Are you leveraging strategic pricing? Are you leveraging techniques for aligning your core products with your core marketplaces? And focus on that growth in your pricing initiatives and your pricing matrices to achieve, again, additional margin. Our workshop includes a 3-day on-site engagement and a best practices assessment. It's a 150-point checklist, and these are not ERP best practices. These are business best practices for distributors and manufacturers. So we can understand, for instance, in your warehouse, are you implementing slotting techniques? Do you have a 1 bin to 1 item ratio? What's your throughput? And do you have cyclical demand that can be tracked? And are you tracking that cyclical demand? So we can rate your optimal, best, and common practices and understand where there is the most room for improvement. As a result of this, there is a task list that we develop with you. And those tasks are based off of what is highly impactful and low work effort. And those are the things you should be attacking first. Within 90 days, you should be able to accomplish most of these highly impactful, low work effort initiatives based off of this best practices assessment. Some of the outputs include a SWOT analysis, which is a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat analysis, as well as an executive summary, the best practices assessment, and a clearly listed project plan for those initiatives and how they should be pursued with those deliverables. You got high yield. It's a typical 20-to-1 return. For every dollar you're investing, you see a 20-fold increase in a return.